Welcome. Today, we're diving into the concept of the domain of a function. Understanding the domain is crucial in mathematics because it tells us which input values are allowed for a given function. We'll explore how to find the domain, especially when dealing with fractions and square roots. By the end, you'll know how to identify restrictions and confidently determine the domain for various types of functions. Let's start by understanding what a domain actually means and why it's important in the context of mathematical functions. Domain of a function is the complete set of possible values of the independent variable, usually represented by x, for which the function is defined. In simpler terms, it's all the x values you can plug into the function without causing any mathematical issues, such as dividing by 0 or taking the square root of a negative number. Identifying the domain helps prevent errors and ensures that the function behaves as expected. Let's see how this works with different types of functions. When a function involves fractions, we need to be careful about the denominator. Division by 0 is undefined in mathematics, so any value of that makes the denominator 0 must be excluded from the domain. For example, in the function f(x equals x plus 1 slash x2, we need to check when the denominator x equals 0. If is 0, the function is not defined. This is a key restriction to keep in mind when working with fractions and functions. Let's look at the function f(x equals x plus 1 slash x2. To find its domain, we focus on the denominator, which is. We set not equal to because division by 0 is not allowed. So the domain of this function is all real numbers except x equals 0. This simple step ensures the function remains defined and avoids mathematical errors. Remember, always check the denominator when dealing with fractions in functions. Square roots introduce another type of restriction. In real numbers, you cannot take the square root of a negative number. So, for any function involving a square root, the expression under the root must be greater than or equal to 0. For example, if you have x equals square root x plus 3, you need to ensure that plus 3 is at least 0. This restriction helps you determine which x values are valid for the function. Let's apply this to the function x equals square root x plus 3. To find the domain, set the expression under the root x plus 3 greater than or equal to 0. Solving for x, we get x greater or equal to. This means the domain is all real numbers greater than or equal to. Any value less than would make the expression inside the square root negative, which is not allowed in real numbers. Sometimes, a function may have more than one restriction. For example, if a function involves both a fraction and a square root, you need to consider both types of limitations. This means you'll have to exclude values that make the denominator 0 and also ensure the expression under the root is non-negative. Combining these restrictions gives you the true domain of the function. Consider the function h(x equals x slash x1. Here, the denominator is x1. To avoid division by 0, set x1 not equal to 0, which means not equal to 1. So the domain is all real numbers except x equals 1. This is a straightforward example of how to handle fractions in functions. Always remember to check for values that make the denominator 0 and exclude them from the domain. When you identify a restriction, the next step is to solve for x for denominators. Set the denominator not equal to 0 and solve. For square roots, set the expression under the root greater than or equal to 0 and solve. This process helps you find the exact set of x values that are allowed in the domain. It's a systematic approach that works for all types of functions. Let's practice with the inequality x2 less or equal to 0. To solve for x, add 2 to both sides, giving less or equal to 2. This tells us that the domain includes all real numbers less than or equal to 2. Whenever you encounter inequalities in domain problems, solve them just like any other algebraic equation to find the valid range for x. Now let's look at the inequality 1, 1, 0. Simplifying, we get 0, 0, which is never true. This means there are no solutions for x in this case. Sometimes, restrictions can eliminate all possible values, resulting in an empty domain. Always check your work to ensure you interpret the results correctly. Whenever you see a square root in a function, always set the expression inside the root greater than or equal to 0. This ensures that you only consider values of that keep the function defined in the real number system. For example, if the root is square root x plus 3, set plus 3 greater or equal to 0 and solve for x. This step is essential for finding the correct domain. After identifying all possible restrictions, combine them to find the true domain of the function. This means you'll take the intersection of all valid x values from each restriction. Only the values that satisfy every condition will be included in the domain. This approach ensures that the function is defined for every in the domain. For the function x equals square root x plus 3, we found that x must be greater than or equal to. This means the domain is all real numbers starting from and going to infinity. In set notation, we write this as x greater or equal to. This notation clearly communicates the allowed values for in the function. Suppose you have a function where the restriction is not equal to 2. The domain is all real numbers except equals 2. In set notation, this is written as xr not equal to 2. This tells us that every real number is allowed except for the one value that would make the function undefined. Sometimes you'll encounter multiple restrictions. For example, if the domain is all real numbers where x greater or equal to 0 and x1, you need to find the intersection of these two conditions. The domain is all real numbers from 0 up to but not including 1. In set notation, this is xr 0 less or equal to 1. A crucial rule to remember is that division by 0 is never allowed in mathematics. Always check the denominator of any fraction in your function and exclude values of that make it 0. This simple step prevents undefined expressions and keeps your function valid. Another important rule is that you cannot take the square root of a negative number when working with real numbers. Always ensure the expression inside the square root is non-negative. This restriction is essential for keeping your function defined in the real number system. Let's visualize domain restrictions with a simple graph or diagram. Imagine a number line where certain points are excluded or shaded to represent valid x values. This visual approach helps reinforce the concept of domain and makes it easier to understand which values are allowed. Mathematicians often use set notation to describe the domain of a function. For example, xr not equal to 2 means all real numbers except 2. Set notation is a concise and precise way to communicate which values are included in the domain. Practice writing domains in set notation to improve your mathematical communication. Another way to express domains is interval notation. For example, x greater or equal to can be written as -3, infinity. This notation uses brackets and parentheses to show which endpoints are included or excluded. Interval notation is widely used in calculus and higher-level math, so it's helpful to become familiar with it. Polynomial functions like f(x) equals x2 plus 3x plus 2 have no restrictions on their domain. This means you can plug in any real number for x, and the function will be defined. The domain of a polynomial function is always all real numbers, unless otherwise specified. Rational functions are fractions where both the numerator and denominator are polynomials. The domain is all real numbers except where the denominator is 0. Always set the denominator not equal to 0 and solve for it to find the domain. Radical functions involve roots, like square roots or cube roots. For even roots, the expression under the root must be non-negative. For odd roots, there are no restrictions, and the domain is all real numbers. Always check the type of root before determining the domain. When a function combines fractions and roots, you must consider all restrictions together. For example, if you have a function with both a denominator and a square root, exclude values that make the denominator 0 and values that make the root negative. The domain is the intersection of all valid x values. Find the domain of any function. Follow these steps. First, identify any denominators and set them not equal to 0. Second, look for any roots and set the expression under the root greater than or equal to 0. Third, solve all inequalities and combine the results. This systematic approach ensures you find the correct domain every time. A common mistake is forgetting to check all denominators or missing restrictions from roots. Always double-check your work and make sure you've considered every possible restriction. Another mistake is misinterpreting inequalities, so take your time when solving for x. Understanding the domain of a function is essential because it tells you which inputs are valid. Using values outside the domain can lead to undefined expressions or errors in calculations. Domains help ensure that mathematical models and real-world applications work as intended. Let's consider a real-world example. Suppose you're calculating the speed of a car using the formula speed equals distance time. Here, time cannot be 0, so the domain excludes time equals 0. This shows how domain restrictions are not just theoretical, they have practical implications in everyday life. To summarize, always remember these key rules. Never divide by 0, never take the square root of a negative number in real numbers, and always combine all restrictions to find the domain. These guidelines will help you confidently determine the domain for any function you encounter. Try finding the domain for the function f, x, 1/x4. Set the denominator not equal to 0, x4 not equal to 0, so x not equal to 4. The domain is all real numbers except x equals 4. Practicing with different functions will help you master the process of finding domains. Now let's try g. X equals square root 2x5. Set the expression under the root greater than or equal to 0, 2x5 greater or equal to 0. Solving for x, we get x greater or equal to 2.5. The domain is all real numbers greater than or equal to 2.5. Keep practicing with different types of functions to build your confidence. Consider hx equals 1 slash square x1. Here, the denominator is a square root, so set x1 0. Solving for x, we get x1. The domain is all real numbers greater than 1. Notice that the inequality is strict because the denominator cannot be 0. Let's try fx equals square root x2 4. Set x2 4 greater or equal to 0. Solving, we get x less or equal to minus 2 or x greater or equal to 2. The domain is all real numbers less than or equal to minus 2 or greater than or equal to 2. This example shows how quadratic expressions can create multiple intervals in the domain. Try g. X equals 1 slash x2 9. Set x2 9 not equal to 0. Solving, x not equal to 3 and x not equal to. The domain is all real numbers except x equals 3 and x equals. This example reinforces the importance of checking for all values that make the denominator 0. Consider hx equals square root x2 slash x plus 5. Set x2 greater or equal to 0 and x plus 5 not equal to 0. Solving, x greater or equal to 2 and x not equal to minus 5. The domain is all real numbers greater than or equal to 2 except x equals minus 5. Always combine all restrictions for the final domain. Let's try fx equals 1 slash square x2 1. Set x2 1 0. Solving, x or x1. The domain is all real numbers less than minus 1 or greater than 1. This example shows how strict inequalities affect the domain. Try g. X equals square root x plus 4 slash x2. Set x plus 4 greater or equal to 0 and x2 not equal to 0. Solving, x greater or equal to minus 4 and x not equal to 2. The domain is all real numbers greater than or equal to minus 4, except equals 2. Combining restrictions is key for these types of functions. Consider hx equals 1 slash x2 plus 1. The denominator x2 plus 1 is never 0 for real numbers, so the domain is all real numbers. This example shows that not all rational functions have restrictions. Let's try fx equals square root x2 plus 4. Since x2 plus 4 is always positive, the domain is all real numbers. This example demonstrates that some square root functions have no restrictions. Here are some tips. Always start by checking denominators and roots. Write down all restrictions before combining them. Use set or interval notation to clearly communicate your answer. Practice with a variety of functions to build your skills. Let's review what we've learned. The domain of a function is the set of all valid input values. Always check for division by 0 and square roots of negative numbers. Combine all restrictions for the final domain. Practice and careful analysis are key to mastering this concept. As you progress, you'll encounter more complex functions with multiple restrictions. Take your time, break down each part, and apply the rules you've learned. With practice, you'll be able to handle any domain problem with confidence. There are many resources available for practicing domain problems, including textbooks, online tutorials, and interactive math platforms. Make use of these tools to reinforce your understanding and gain more experience with different types of functions. Congratulations! You've learned how to find the domain of a function, handle fractions and square roots, and combine restrictions. Remember to always check for division by 0 and negative roots. With continued practice, you'll master this essential math skill and be ready for more advanced topics.